You're watching Hip Hop Vancouver. I'm John Z, and today I'm joined by none other than Nova Scotia's own Classified. Welcome back to Van City, class.
Good to be back, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. There's a bit of irony with your name being Classified, because in many ways you're Canada's secret weapon. Even though you've been successfully making music for 15 plus years, you've relatively flown under the radar, but it seems to be that's the way Class likes it.
Yeah, I'm not. I like that I get to do music. I like that people get to hear my music. I like that it gets out there, but I'm not hungry for the spotlight. You know what I mean?
Right.
Love that my music get out there, but I don't need the cameras and stuff, so it's cool.
So talk about your secret to success and how you've managed to have the longevity you've attained over the years when the shelf life of an artist these days is only like 2 to 5 years max, it seems.
Just grinding, man, and just doing it myself. I think that's kind of the way I just came up, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think for a lot of artists, there's usually a team of people. There's a lot of things going on, and it's great when you can have people motivated, you know, longer than two or 3 years. Sometimes, you know, you work with a manager, you work with a label, everyone's excited. After a couple of years, they kind of lose that excitement, and when those people lose that excitement around you, you got to kind of fend for yourself. And I've went through a lot of those situations, even coming up, different managers, different situations. But I was always motivated by myself just to make music. You know what I mean? Like, I always liked to make music, and fortunate enough, had enough people around me that kept me motivated too.
Now, on your song Heavy Head from your new album Greatful, you rhyme, "Look, I got my own thing in my own country, and I'm so comfy, I ain't gonna change for no money." Talk about that thing that you have in Canada, and what is it exactly?
My own lane, like you said earlier. Yeah. Like, it's just kind of, I got my own thing happening up here. That was kind of talking about my situation in the States, and I did a worldwide deal with Atlantic Records. I kept my own situation in Canada, where it was Half-Life Records and Universal, my own situation, my own thing here. But then the rest of the world was handled by Atlantic, and you know, they wanted me to do certain things that I wasn't really comfortable with doing, and that's kind of me just explaining that I wasn't ready to just drop everything that I built up here for 10 years to hopefully blow up to the rest of the world. I wasn't going to just forget about everything else I already did. So it's kind of just be like, hey, I kind of did my own thing for years here. I got this here, and I'm not going to forget that just to try to do that.
Yeah, and it seems to radiate well. Like obviously, you have a lot of support just in your own country. You don't seem to have to go and do a lot of touring outside of your own country.
Yeah, and I think that's just because we did tour Canada so many times. Like, we've toured Canada, you know, 10 times, but not so much just even the Vancouvers, the Toronto, the Montreal. We hit the Cranbrooks, the Invermeres, the, you know, Lethbridge, the small towns that normally might not get something. So I think in turn doing that so many times, it's built, like I said, our own lane, our own little avenue that we can just go tour, and every time we put a record out, we go back to that town, and it seems to get bigger and better.
Yeah. Do you feel personally that you're top 5 in Canada as far as hip-hop goes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not like a cocky guy. Like, I don't think I'm the best MC, but definitely as a hip-hop artist, I'd put me on top 3.
Yeah.
But that's just because, I like you said, the longevity, the fact that I'm a producer too. I'm not just a rapper. The fact that I produce all my stuff. Like, how many artists from Canada are producers and MCs that have been around for more than 10 years?
Yeah.
I don't know if I could name another one. Chaos, maybe. I know he produces some of his stuff.
Okay.
And Maestro always produced, like, you know, even Cardinal always produced a lot of his stuff off and on too. But I don't think there's another artist that's just exclusively produces all their stuff, and everything he put out has been produced by myself. So, yeah.
Who else would be in that list if you were to put a top 5
top 5
list?
rappers?
Yeah.
Maestro.
Canadian.
Maestro Fresh West, yeah. Drake, even though, you know, he hasn't been around that long. Well, even to say he's not been around that long, he's still been around for 10 years, and what he's done, you can't deny it. Mad Child. Of all time, like, yeah, Mad Child's been around for years. Maestro's been around for years.
Drake.
Class. Me, and maybe even Chaos, you'd say.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I think it's cool because everybody's got their own sound, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's something that always, I find, identifies with Canadian musicians, whether it's like a Swollen Members or Chaos or whatever it is. It's always a different little angle on it. It's not just like your typical, oh, I rap, here we go. You know what I mean? Red One, Rascals, another one. You know what I mean? Came up on him. He's been around for years, been doing it. So there's a lot, man. I know I'm forgetting people too. That I'd be like, oh yeah, that guy. And
yeah.
You know, there's a lot of good MCs. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, in your new single, "Filthy," you rap, came in the game when white rappers weren't a cliche, but man, oh man, how things have changed these days. Can you elaborate on that lyric and break down your views on like white rappers right now in 2016?
I can't really break down every white rapper, but like that line was.
Well, what did you mean when you were rapping?
Yeah, when I wrote that song, it was just seemed like a lot of rappers were getting put on because they were white.
Yeah.
Like, just, and not even you know, if they're dope and they're white, I don't care what color they're. If they're good, they're good. You know what I mean? But it seemed like people were just getting put on because I was like, oh, she's a white Australian girl, but she sounds like she's from Miami. Or, oh, he's like, what's that kid's name? Slim Jesus or whatever.
Sure.
It's like almost like a Mad TV skit.
Yeah.
And it's like, even the artists for themselves, they know it's not real. Like, I seen an interview with him where he's like, no, I don't do any of this. It just sounds cool. And it just reminds me of like a bad MTV skit or a Mad TV skit where they're kind of like making fun of hip hop and laughing at it. And some people are laughing along with it, like, oh, it's a funny joke. We love it. Let's keep going. And it's like, that's cool if it is what it is, but it was a lot more serious for me. So for me, it just seems like people are just kind of using it as a joke, and that's fine, but just don't call it hip hop. Just call it joke music or something.
Yeah, exactly. So I gotta ask, what's up with the East Coast Maritime tradition of the kitchen party? Like
the kitchen party, it's just some.
You guys seem so keen on partying in other people's kitchens.
We love our kitchens. I don't know. It's not even like one of those things, but it just always seems down home. And I even notice it out here. It's like, you know, you have a house party. The party always ends up in the kitchen. But with the Maritimes, it's always, you know, the guitars come out. You know what I mean? It just turns into like a kitchen jam. That's kind of what it's based around. And
you took it kind of further and ran a contest where you were showing up at people's.
We went across Canada and kind of went to a couple people's houses and basically just did like a house party in their house.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool, man. And we thought it might have been weird, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how were any of those all those experiences?
No, they were cool, man. Everybody's house we went to was really cool. Everyone was chill, and yeah, it couldn't have went any better. It was a cool vibe, man.
Now, you titled this new album of yours Greatful, which is the 15th album you've recorded and released. And when you look back at your career and where you're at in your life right now, what are the things that classified as grateful for?
For my kids, my wife, my family, my home, my RV that I take my kids camping into the pool. We can go, you know what I mean? Like literally everything that I get, which I think anybody should, you know what I mean? Especially nowadays, you know what I mean? It's be grateful for anything good that happens to you. But then at the same time, even on the music side, the fact that I can turn my hobby that I did when I was 15 years old into my job for the last 15 years. You know, wake up, tour with my brothers, my family on the tour bus and kind of hang out like when I was 19 years old. It's a pretty fun life, you know what I mean? There's a lot of hard work here and there, but overall it's definitely a gift or something, you know what I mean? Like, very grateful for it.
And in closing, when it's all said and done and you decide to finally hang up the mic for good, which it sounds like this might be one of your last albums that you're putting together.
I don't know. Who knows?
Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
What impact and impression do you hope to leave behind, and what message do you want people to take away from your music?
A lot of messages from my music, not like one thing, you know what I mean? I hope, like, you know, you can listen to a song and get something out of it. But besides anything, like, I don't know, like before I used to come in and it was always about like, oh, I want this respect of the industry, I want respect of the other MCs, and as you get older, a lot of that stuff just doesn't seem as important anymore. You know, it's like, cool, you know, I don't think that's the thing that makes people happy. I think it's that journey of getting there, you know what I mean? And when you realize that, it's kind of like, I want people to just think, oh, he was a cool dude. You know what I mean? Nothing more than like that. Oh yeah, I met him a few times. He was always nice, chill guy, you know, and he was what he said he was.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for Classified for taking the time to sit with us today. You know, I've been following your career for a long time now, ever since 1998 with the Now What album, and I'm happy to see the progression and the successes that you've made in your careers. It's been a pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Support real hip hop by going and copping this guy's new album, Greatful. I'm John Z. This is Hip Hop Vancouver. Peace.
Hey, what's up? This is Classified, and you're checking out HipHopVancouver.com right now. Keep checking it out. We'll keep making it. Peace.